Welcome to The Power of You. So, this is my premiere show. Yay. And I'm so happy that you all showed up. A little bit about me. Some of you have seen me before on other podcasts where I've been giving past life readings. And what I want to share with that is the first half of this hour are going to be like channeled information to you. And we'll go into that a little bit more in a bit. And then the second half of the show is going to be readings. So I'm going to be giving out free readings. You can ask about a past life. You can ask just a question if you like. Anything goes. And then I will give you like a brief reading. What I will do with each show is I'm going to be drawing a portrait for this particular show that talks about the energy I'm feeling. And so what shows up in the portrait may speak to you. There might be one part that speaks to you. There may be multiple parts of it that speaks to you. And I'm going to show you the picture I did for today's show. And this is what I downloaded today, is this one. So how I'm doing it as far as the whole Venmo thing, like if you want to make donations for readings, is if you would like a copy of this picture, if you Venmo me or PayPal me $5, I will send you a digital copy of this picture. Whoever donates the most, like if you want to tip more or whatever, that person actually gets the original. So I will need your email addresses. And the best way to get those is if you want to email me at laylagenie@gmail.com. And there it is on the screen. And then just put in the subject line, Power of You. And then from there, I can get your email address so I can email you the digital copy of the picture if you choose to do that. That's how I'm doing the readings. And I'm doing it that way because I know that a lot of format on some of these shows is I have to check and see who's donated to see who is top of the list for the readings. And I am not that great as a multitasker. So that's really what it is about that. Anyway, so let's start. This is the picture. So I'll zoom it in here so you guys can see all the elements. So this image right here is an eclipse. And so what I got, the message I got about that is I feel that some of you may have something that happens in your life, and it doesn't have to be like a big event. It could be something really small. But it's something that's going to create a shift for you. And it gives you a chance to embrace more power, more intuitive abilities, more of everything. Okay. The next image that's on here is a red wolf that's kind of a merwolf, if you can see that. And it has like a sunflower over its head. So what that image is about, I've actually seen a red wolf many, many, many years ago. I got up early in the morning and we had an upstairs apartment, and I went out and I looked outside and there was a puddle on the ground, and drinking out of the puddle was an actual red wolf, like a red wolf with big gold eyes. It stopped drinking and it looked up at me, and we're in the middle of the city. Where in the heck does a red wolf come from? It was the most magical experience, one of the most magical experiences I've had. And wolves are very symbolic of teachers. Like they teach things, they guide things, they're very nurturing. And then this red wolf to me feels very fiery. It feels like it's a lot about taking actions on things, like listening deeply to your intuition. The sunflower above in the crown chakra represents receiving information from light beings. There's connections with star nations happening here. But I also feel it has to do with turning towards the light. Like, especially in today's world with everything going on, it's kind of hard for us to really get in touch with our light and feel our joy. So this is all about connecting with that light source. And then the wolf is sitting like kind of part of the way on the beach and the other part in the ocean. So that's a liminal space. So a liminal space is always some place that is neither day nor night, neither black nor white. Those kind of spaces. And that's where magic can happen. And so what I'm feeling the message is here is the wolf is saying to kind of go forward with what you want. Like it might include some bravery, because wolves are very brave, but they're also very aware. There was also a lot of energy around the ear. So this is about listening. So pay attention to what you may be hearing around you. And what I want to turn you on to is there's a way to receive psychic messages that are called cledons. And so what a cledon is when you overhear bits and pieces of a conversation that have nothing to do with you, like you don't know these people, you may be in a grocery store somewhere and you overhear somebody, and but that message totally speaks to your life. And I'm going to give you an example of a cledon I heard. So about 20 years ago, I wrote a novel that featured people turning into wolves. So it was kind of shape shifting and magic and metaphysical and all of that. And I was writing it in a coffee house that had lots of different rooms in it. And this group of attorneys came in and they went and they sat in this other room. They were dressed in suits and everything. And then they started talking about different cases or whatever. And I'm writing this book. And I sat back at one point and I thought, wow, is all of this all crap? I mean, is this really going to go anywhere? Really, should I continue writing this? What's it about? And I just asked the question in my head. And then out of nowhere, from the other room where the attorneys were sitting, one of them said, I kid you not, they said, well, even werewolves need representation. What? I got up and I went to go look at the room, and they're just all sitting there just talking about something else. And I swear I heard that. It came from that room. Even werewolves need representation. I thought, oh my God, what kind of cases are you looking at? Who are you representing that you said that? So it was encouragement for me to kind of go forward and keep working on this book, which I did finish writing. So the red wolf is talking about a little bit of bravery. It's talking about that listening. So pay attention to what you hear around you. The mer part of it, so if you can see the fishy tail again, the mer part of it is about flow, and it's about move forward with courage, but also be ready to kind of shift in a different direction, because fish can do that. If you've ever seen fish swimming in the sea, they dart all over the place. So they go in different directions. So this is all about being authentic to yourself, being who you are as a person. And I went into a meditation along with this picture before the podcast. And one of the things I received was about things that happen in your life. So if any of you have had events or things happen in your life where you feel like you're disappointed in yourself, or you wish you would have tried harder or maybe done something differently. I mean, we all have regrets, right? We all have things that we're like, I wish I could have done this differently. And the guidance I got from my spirit guides was that the point of what is happening around you, like if you feel like you've made a mistake or you feel like you have a regret over something, isn't about the event. It's about learning about yourself. So you're learning more about who you are as a person. So when these things happen where you're disappointed or you feel like you could have made a different decision about something, it's really guidance about, from here forward, you've got this new piece of information. You didn't have this before. So when we think about the concept of a mistake, like making mistakes, nobody goes into something going, I hope I really screw this up. You just don't do that. And you don't realize that it's a mistake until after you're done with that. So there's two pieces to that. One is, in the New Age movement, we encourage everybody to talk to your spirit guides and to work with your inner guidance so that you don't make mistakes. But mistakes are actually important. And they're important because after you go through them, you get that real earth time learning and you gain this deeper perspective. And sometimes that can root at a deeper level than if you were just listening to a guide. And it's not discounting listening to your guides, but it's kind of part of the plan, really, to uncover who you are as an authentic being. And that's really the point. Like the whole point, your whole soul journey is to become the best you, the most authentic you that you can possibly be. Like, who are you really? You're unfolding all of that. And there's only ever going to be one you in the whole universe. You're it. So there's a lot of magic in that. So that was one of the things that I wanted to share. So you can't really fail at anything. That's really the point. You don't really fail at anything. And sometimes when things look like they're not going the way that you want them to, it's a great opportunity to create alchemy. So alchemy was an ancient science where you could take base metals like lead or copper, combine them together with something called the philosopher's stone, and alchemists believe they could make actual real gold from that. So what we're interested in here is spiritual gold. And really, what you need to make really great spiritual gold is some bullshit in your life. So when stuff goes south, or when it's not working out, it's a chance to create something. It's always that chance to create something. So I did want to share that with you. So that's part of the channeled message. Now, I wanted to talk about why this show is called Power of You. So I've taught classes for years and years and years. And one of the techniques that I've used in teaching classes that I think has really worked out really, really well for people taking the class is I want you to guide the class. So what the invitation here is, there's a lot of stuff I can talk about. I can talk about a lot of different things. So, and I know other people that can talk more about some of those things than I can, but, and they could be guests. But my point is, what I invite you to do is to share with me what it is you would like to learn. Like if you could learn anything, if you could master anything, what is that thing? And then we can devote a show to that, or, show to maybe a couple of things that you guys want to learn. And that way this show can be all about you, about all that you want to learn. What do you want to uncover? What do you want to discover? So there's a lot out there. So I was going to share that. One way to get clarity on that is to think about something in your life that you would like to have, or think about what you would like to change in your life. So think about what that is. What would you like to see changed? What would you like to see different? What would you like to manifest more of? And then in short, like in 4 words or less, 4 words. Why is that? So let's say you are wanting to create more abundance in your life. Let's throw that one out there. Then the question would be, well, why is that? Why do you want more abundance? And for each of you out here in the audience, it's probably going to be something different. So 4 words or less, why do you want that? And then you look at the answer, and the answer might surprise you. I mean, it could be anything from I want to experience more joy in my life. I want to experience safety. I want to experience freedom, any of those things. So then what you do is then you look at that answer and you say, well, why is that? And you're going to do this a total of 4 times. Okay. So look at the why is that part. So if your answer was, well, I just want to be safe. Well, why is that? What is it about safety? And then you could come up with something about safety. And that would be the 3rd answer. And then number 4, well, why is that? And what happens is the first things you come up with are really layers to an onion. The last thing, like the 4th thing you come up with, is really it. That's the jewel. That's the thing you really want to focus on. And when you focus on that part, then you get the thing at the top that you were asking for. So that's a really good way to kind of create manifestation in your life. And it's also a good way to create, like, well, what do I want to learn next? Where do I want to go next? What do I want to create next? What types of things are those that I want to create? If you see me looking to the side, it's like I took a lot of notes because I spent like an hour in meditation, and my guides are just channeling all this really cool stuff. So I thought that was pretty neat. So we have that. The other thing I wanted to try doing with this class that I thought would be really fun is if you guys want to throw out there things you want to manifest. Okay, so what do you want to create? And then what we can do is I can call out each person that wants to manifest something. And then we can say, oh, look, so-and-so wants to manifest this. So let's just pause for a minute. We're sending our energy to that person to manifest that thing. We're all sending our positive energy to them. And then we can go on to the next person. So that's also something that we can do. This was something I experienced in a bunch of different groups where we put it out there. Like we're forming a circle pretty much with the podcast. Everybody here, we're in a circle. So when you put out what your intention is in the middle of that circle, and then we all contribute that energy, it can help you manifest. Think of all of us as your posse of possibility. So, those things are also important, and it all kind of contributes to the global. I think it contributes to the world, really. I mean, I think that when we reach out and help one another in that way, then it really does help improve the world. One of the foundations of what it is I really love about how this works is this story. Maybe some of you have heard it. It is a Buddhist story, and it's a story about a master and his student, and they're walking down the path. And the student asks the master, "Master, what is hell?" And the master says, "Walk with me." So they continue walking, and they come to this really long hall. And they go inside the hall, and there's this really long table, and it's lined with people all around the table. And on the table are every delicious kind of food you could possibly think of to eat, like everything. And the people, instead of having arms and hands, they've just got forks. They're straight wooden forks. So they can't bend it. They can just move it straight. That's all they can do. And they're taking their fork, hands and arms, and they're dipping it into the food. And they're trying to bring the food to their own mouths, but it's straight. So as it gets up to the top, it just falls. It falls on the table. None of it gets in their mouths. And there's all this anguish there because nobody's eating. They're all starving. There's every kind of food you could imagine, your favorite food right in front of you, and nobody can eat it. And the master says to the student, "This is hell." And then they leave. And then they continue walking down the road, and they come to another long hall. They go inside the hall, same as before. There's a long table lined on all sides with a whole bunch of people. And there's every kind of delicious food you can possibly imagine sitting on this table. And as before, they don't have hands and arms. They've got these straight forks. But what they're doing is instead of dishing it into the food and trying to lift it up to their own mouths, they're using it to feed the person that's across from them. And then the person across from them is doing the same. So there's this constant sharing of energy. And there's laughing and singing and joy in this room. And the master says, "This is heaven." So that's the difference. That's the difference. And so I really feel like even as the smallest bit of energy contributed is something that benefits the world as a whole. And I want to share that I feel that you have more impact than you're aware of. So that's something I'm downloading about a lot of you actually, is that some of you, what I'm getting is some of you are kind of looking into it, like you've come to the edge of a pond and there's all these stars. There's like the whole universe in the pond, and you're looking into the pond. And some of you are dipping a toe in it. Some of you are ready to dive into it. And here's the beauty about that. There's no judgment on any of that from the universe. The universe or your guides aren't looking at you going, "Geez, why don't you just dive in?" They're not judging you on that. Sometimes it's just fun to dip your toes in things. Sometimes it's fun just to stand up, by a lake and look at it and just receive that beauty. There's so many different ways of experiencing this lake. So the lake I'm talking to you about is the lake of possibility. This is where possibility lies. The whole universe is in there. And you can gaze at it. You can drink it in with your eyes. You can just drink it in with your eyes. And then when you drink it in, it kind of gives you this beautiful feeling of peace inside of you. Maybe you could swim in it if you want to swim in it. Maybe you could wade. Maybe you could walk in it and just feel the coolness of the water lapping against your feet. That's something that you could do. So it's all about how you experience possibility, and the how of something can help you to lead a more peaceful life. And I'm not talking about like if you have a goal and you're like, okay, I've got to figure out how it's going to happen. How am I going to manifest this? Because as we know, if you trust spirit, if you trust your guides, they can show you the how of that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how as a mindset. So one time I was in this really long checkout line for the grocery store. And I was in the self-checkout line because all the other lines were totally packed. And I thought, oh my God, how long is this going to take? I really want to get out of here. We've all been there. I just want to leave, get my stuff and leave. And then I thought, okay, well, I'm really focused on God, it just needs to move faster. And then I thought I could ask myself, how am I waiting? Isn't that a different question? How am I waiting? How am I waiting? So what do I observe as I'm waiting? And so I stepped back from, oh my God. And what happened was, like, right in front of me was this man who was helping his son with the groceries, and the son was maybe 2. So they're scanning everything, and the little boy couldn't even see the scanner. He was like short, but his little arms could get up and put the stuff on the scanner. He could do that, but he couldn't actually see it scan. But it did beep, and he didn't also see his dad's hand kind of making sure it did beep so that he could scan it through, because sometimes he couldn't get it close enough to the scanner. But he kept talking to his son. Oh my God, you're such a good helper. Look at how good you are. You're just amazing. And he was just talking up this kid. This kid had this big smile on his face. And it was such a glorious example of loving parenting going on and of just this loving relationship. And then when I looked, I saw that everybody else was noticing too, and everyone was smiling. So there was this complete joy happening in this line because of how we were waiting, as opposed to how fast can we get it out. So that's what I'm going to share. So, oh, good. All right. So we have somebody who's chiming in. Hi, Kim. She says, I want to manifest a healing center with yurts and hot springs and land for a community garden, etc. That sounds amazing. Doesn't that sound amazing, everybody? Wouldn't we all love to go there? So just kind of pause for a minute, think about how great that is, and then just kind of put your hands up there, and you can say, so mote it be, or so it is, or, wow, this is great, and just send your energy to the manifesting of this dream for Kim. Isn't this great? And so we see this healing center all coming to life. It sounds amazing. She's got really great clients that come there. It's like a mecca, really. It's a place that everybody wants to be at. And it's so peaceful there, and we just love it. So imagine that, and then just kind of send that energy out to Kim. And you can just kind of do it like I'm doing it, or however you do it, but we're sending that energy. And so it is. So let's see who else we have. Okay, so Sam. I want to manifest career in futures trading. Okay, so let's see how successful that is for Sam. So we're putting our hands out again. We're sending that positive energy. Look at all that abundance, all that prosperity coming in for that. Oh my gosh, isn't this great? And there's so many great connections that Sam will make. So many great connections, and with so many different people that are engaging, and their business just grows and grows in a way that feeds them with joy and happiness. So we're sending that energy to manifest that dream, manifest, all with the highest and perfect ease and grace. Isn't this great that this is happening for them? And we're so thrilled that this is happening for you. And so it is. Isn't that great? One thing you might feel if you're the one contributing the energy, because I've done this before with different online groups where we're the ones sending. And it feels better than when I put my own stuff out there, honestly. It feels way better because I love making that contribution of energy. So it is. Does anybody else have anything they want to manifest? If you want to throw it out there. And what I'd love for you to do is if you could get back to us and let us know the progress of your dream. How is that unfolding for you? And it could be maybe you saw an image that was inspiring you. Maybe you took your first step. Maybe you launched a website for it. I have friends who wanted to build a healing center where people were living in earth ships. And they designed this imaginary website showing, and put it all together and put it out there just to see what the reaction would be. And everybody wanted to book, like automatically, they all wanted to book. So they got that good feedback that, oh, okay, this is something they're interested in. Okay. Oh, thank you, Robin, for sharing. She loves the show and everything. So cool. So, alrighty. So we're getting to the point where we're going to be doing the reading part. So if anybody has a question, I do have my cards. I will share that I found the land, but need the financial support to get it started. Okay, so let's contribute that. The financial support is coming to you. It's already there. There was a book I read once called What Color is Your Parachute? And it was about changing careers. And one of the things they shared in there is that somebody who knows somebody that can help you out with that part. So there's somewhere in your circle, there is that information. Okay. And yes, would love any messages. Okay, so I drew a card today also for the group. Um, trying to figure out which way the camera is. This is the King of Fire. So in the tarot, kings represent the beginning of a journey. They represent the beginning of a journey, your first step forward on your journey. So, and the Fire King is all about creativity. This guy's the king of the dragons. So this is very creative. So what may kind of come to you are ideas right now that you can step forward on, so you can start taking a step about it with that. Now, one thing I'd like to share is I know some of you have done vision boards before. I call them treasure maps. You can make a vision board for your goal. Now, that is actually not an action step, believe it or not. It's not. It's a visioning step. But I'm going to tell you how to make it an action step. So what you can do is, believe it or not, you could get just a little piece of paper and make a vision board for a single goal. And how you want to make that goal happen is when you put your pictures and your words on your vision board, you want to put statements of ownership on it. So what I mean by that, so let's say you want to be a successful travel agent. So you put pictures of different destinations, you know, that you want to help people get to, but you want to put an ownership on it. So I am a travel agent. I have a successful business as a travel agent. So you want to use I am, whatever it is you want to do. What's your title? I am that. And you want to put I have for ownership also, because then you own the things that are on the picture. Because what happened one year is I did this vision board and I wanted to get some jewelry. So I put pictures of all this bling all over my treasure map, diamonds and rubies, all of that. And then what wound up happening is I started landing all of these parties where I saw rocks that would knock your eyes out, like 5 carats and above, like huge stones. None of them were mine, but I saw them all because I didn't put ownership on any of my pictures. So that's why it's important to do that. Okay, Robin, I'm manifesting a Jeep in my own space. Okay, everybody. So let's go ahead and contribute our energy to that. So we're manifesting, manifesting, manifesting. Manifesting for Robin. Jeeps are great. I've owned 2. So there, it's a great vehicle. She loves it. It's perfect for what she needs. This or better. It's fabulous. You have your own space. You have your own independence. You're feeling really good about your own space, actually. It's decorated just the way you want it to. Can you see all the beautiful things around you? And it's in a great neighborhood. You're really loving this neighborhood. You've got really great neighbors too. And you're just feeling expanded and free and wonderful. So manifest, manifest, manifest. And so it is. Okay, cool. All righty. Thank you, Richard, about the card. I appreciate that. Okay. So we're going to go into readings now. So who would like a reading? So we can do past life. I can pull a card for you. So it doesn't have to necessarily be about the stuff I've done in the past, but whatever it is you would like some clarity on. So we'll see who shows up for that. And in the meantime, I'll show you the picture again. So remember, it's $5. Venmo to me if you want a digital copy of this. Yeah, manifesting jars are really cool. That's what Robin shared. Okay. Richard says he would like a card. Okay. So I'm shuffling right here. Let's see what we have for Richard. Okay. So this is your card. You can see it. This is the 4 of water. So see the treasure? Can you see the treasure that she's sitting behind? Like right there? Okay. So what this card is about is actually an offer that comes out of left field for you. So you're sitting there thinking, oh, I guess this is what I have. I mean, I don't know. What do I want to create out of life, or what's next? Sometimes it can be a card that talks about being bored or just being like complacent, like, eh. But this card talks about something coming out of left field that will surprise you. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And usually it's something pretty cool. The other message I'm getting with this is don't sweat the small stuff. Literally, don't let the little drama things get in the way of that. And what I want to share with that is I once met a woman who won a 6-week trip, a free 6-week trip to Europe. Oh my God. And she almost didn't take the trip because she didn't know who was going to check her mail. Can you believe it? She was going to turn a 6-week free trip to Europe down because she didn't have anybody to check her mail. And then I said to her, and I said, well, you know, the post office will just hold it for you for 6 weeks. And then you can just pick it up later. So you don't even have to worry about it. And she was like, so she took the trip. So that's what I mean. Don't let little things like that get in the way of what it is you're trying to create. Okay. So that is your message. And then Sam, okay, would like a card. Okay. Let me mix this up for you. And if you want, you can ask a specific question if you want that addressed. I'm totally fine with doing it this way, though. If you hold the question in your head, I'm still getting the answer on that. So however it works best for you. Okay, so let's see what we got. Oh, wow. Okay, so Sam, this is your card. This is the Ace of Fire. See that Phoenix rising? So the message I'm getting is that new things are actually starting to develop in your life. Sometimes when this card turns up, there's a new source of income that comes in, or there's new money, or there's new opportunities. But it's something that really can help you lift. Because if you think about what a phoenix does, it rises from the ashes. It rises and it soars into all of this beautiful glory. There's a lot of ancient magic tied around phoenixes. A lot of really old magicians from the Middle East particularly wanted to work with phoenixes because they were said to grant wishes, and you had to do this whole ritual to work with a phoenix. But anyway, phoenixes are wish granters. So I really feel good energy about what it is you're going to develop. I also feel like in a couple of years, I really think you're going to be really flush. Like it looks like there's a lot of money coming your way. You're feeling really secure. So the guidance I'm getting on that is with what you want to create in the future, make sure you connect to why you want it. So what do you think this thing will bring to you? And make sure you're aware of what that is. And this is why I'm going to share that with you. I worked for a really famous artist at one point. And when I worked with her, she had just sold $150,000 worth of original art to a celebrity. And a major museum in the city I lived in was doing a 40-year retrospective of her career. She'd received 2 Guggenheim fellowships where they pay your whole ride to go to another country for 6 weeks. She got it twice. She was very successful in my opinion. But one of the things she shared with me is that she just never felt like she made it as an artist. And I'm like, really, you don't? And I'm like, why? And she said, because my work never went up for auction. And I checked her prices. I went and looked and it had. Her art had been gone up for auction, but she just didn't get the blue chip prices, I guess she's wanting. I mean, dude, who here would turn down 150 grand a year? I mean, would any of you do that? And also all these connections. She knew Anne Rice. I did parties for her where a lot of celebrities were coming. So know when you're there, because I really feel you're going to be really successful, but make sure you can drink that in and hold that in that you're successful. Okay. Really embrace that because it looks like you're really going to be set. Okay. Kim, you would like to get some past life. Okay. So let me tap in with yours. And what I'm getting here for you is, for me, it's like a movie. So if you see me blink out for a minute, it's because I'm like watching this movie and I'm like, oh, I've got popcorn here. I'm watching the movie. And then I forget that somebody's waiting there. And I'm like, oh, yeah, this is great. You should watch it. Anyway, what I'm seeing is that I'm seeing you as a Celtic priestess. You're dressed in a white robe. It feels like it's around the time when the Romans came. And so it feels like it's in England somewhere. But you're wearing white and you're a priestess and you're holding this dagger in your hands. And you're learning about, and it's like what your other priestesses are showing you is how to use. So magically, a dagger is symbolic of the will. It's symbolic of, and so they'll use it magically for that, because it's like your pointer finger. You're pointing at something you want. That's what the dagger does. And so when you have a dagger, you're channeling energy into it to kind of create what it is you want. So you're becoming aware of the power that you have and that you have choices with it. And what do you do with it? And so you've got this thing where you're wanting to devote your life to peace. You're wanting to do herbalism. And then the Romans came and you're like, what the hell? How do I defend my people? How do I protect them? So it's all about choice points for you. And so your magic took a slightly different turn because you wanted to protect your people, which you did do. And you were successful at it. And you became known as like a person of power. And so for me, this lifetime for you was all about choices. Like, what kind of choices do you make? How do you stand in your power? How do you stand in your power? So it's all about that. And that lifetime can contribute its energy to you so that you learn how to become more powerful. And I'm not like time frame. I don't know. It feels like it's, like 1500 years ago. It feels long to me. Sometimes time's a little bit nebulous for me, but that's about what it feels like. Okay. All right. Thank you, Robin, for your contribution. Thank you for the cards. Okay, I'm just scrolling up here to see who else needs a reading. Also, throw it down if you want to manifest. If any of you on here want to manifest something, let us know, because we're going to totally make a contribution energetically to your dream. And you never know. You never know how things can happen. Oh, you're welcome, Sam. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So I will wait for somebody else to come on, but I'm going to still be yammering on. And I'll go over here and check the chat thing. So it's the whole multitasking thing for me. Looking back and forth with that. All right. So one thing I want to share is about how to communicate with your guides, but also how to communicate with animals. And this is kind of connected with manifesting, strangely enough. So I had this friend who was a brilliant, brilliant animal psychic, and she could talk to any animal. She was so good at it that she was employed by Hollywood a lot to work in the movies. And she worked with big cats. She worked with birds. She worked with a lot of different things. And we went to the zoo once. And what she taught me about talking to animals is that animals don't communicate like how I'm communicating to you. I'm projecting my ideas at you. So it's kind of a projecting, like this is how humans communicate. Animals, it's more of awareness. What am I aware of? So if you see a monkey and you're eating popcorn, but you're done eating the popcorn, but you're like, I think I want another piece of popcorn. But you really don't. And you're like, well, why am I thinking popcorn? It's because the monkey wants some of your popcorn. That's what you're picking up on. So it's more of peaceful. Does that make sense? It's more of a peaceful kind of awareness type of thing. She also shared, so you might want to know this, that apes and monkeys understand whatever dominant languages they hear the most in a zoo. So if your zoo is in Germany, they're going to know German really well. It takes about 2 years, but then they'll know what you're saying. So we went to the gorilla exhibit. There was a male and female gorilla on exhibit. And she said, okay, so this is the problem with this. So the female gorilla was about 8 years old. She could still mate. But what they'd done is she'd had a son. She'd given birth to a son. And when the son was 2 years old, they took him and put him in another zoo. And she was really upset about that. But they wanted her to breed. And they were afraid that if she stayed in the same enclosure as her son, she would breed with him. And she said, which is utter crap. Gorillas know who their children are. So she would never have mated with this gorilla, with her son. So they brought in this other male gorilla who was about 3. And she said she just doesn't see him as a sexual partner at all. He's more like a child to her. And this male gorilla was sitting like in front of us, just kind of leaning back against like a tower of some sort. And he was like, just kind of not looking at us, but just looking forward. And she said, okay, so here's the problem with this. If he doesn't mate soon, because he's been trying and she's just not interested, if he doesn't mate soon, he's going to lose all connection with his masculinity and he's not going to be able to get it up for anybody. And I am not even kidding you. That male gorilla stopped, turned and looked at us and flipped us off. And she laughed and she said, well, now you can tell everybody you've been flipped off by a gorilla. So there's that. So when you go to the zoo, have that awareness. You can talk to the monkeys and the apes totally. But for other animals, you want to have an awareness. Also, if big cats stare at you, they're wanting you to tell them something, because we had that happen. So I'm going back here. All right. So Barbara, I would like to manifest a perfect new place for me to live in North Carolina. Oh my God, North Carolina is beautiful. Okay, so we're manifesting for Barbara right now. We're manifesting this perfect new place. It's in a beautiful area. She has great connections there as well. She feels really connected to the land. She's really enjoying the play of seasons that are there. There's a lot of creativity there too. There's a lot of really great stuff in that state. And she's connecting to all of it. And this is happening with perfect grace and ease. Like butter is just sliding into place so easily. She has happy synchronicities that happen around this occurring. She's there. She's happy. She's feeling fulfilled. This or better. It's manifest, manifest, manifest. So it is. And so it is. Yay. Okay. Ruth. Hi, Ruth. I would love a past life message if you have time. Okay. Let's see what we got for Ruth. Okay. Wow, this is interesting. So sometimes, and this is kind of pushing the envelope for what's possible. It's really pushing the envelope. I know I've done pictures for you before, but once I do them, because they're channeled, they're gone. Like I have no memory of any of that. So I'm not sure if this was something that showed up before, but I'm seeing a merman, like a merman. You're not the merman, you're talking to the merman. And it feels like you're in some kind of spirit world where you're working with mermaid energy, like they're showing you their magic. Out of all the elemental beings to see, mer people are the most challenging. It's easier to see fairies and air spirits. So mer people are challenging, but you're seeing them. And they're bringing you stuff from the ocean. So what they're showing me is, like, I'm sure some of you are aware of healing muds. Like there's some people that take mud baths that are really healing. But what they're showing me is they have these glass sea bottles. They're going down to the bottom of the ocean, and they're putting like that stuff that's on the bottom of the ocean, the silt or mud or whatever it is. They're putting a little bit of it into this jar, and the rest is water, and they're bringing it up to you. And there's something you do with these jars that you did with these jars in this lifetime. And like you could do healing with the mud. There was something about the mud. And when you think about the stuff that's on the bottom of the ocean, the earth that's on the bottom of the ocean where it meets the water, this is stuff that's never walked on by human beings. We never touch it. We never hold it. And you're the first person to do it. And they're bringing this up for you to work with. It feels like it's near Greece, but not, it wouldn't be quite considered Greece, but friends with Greece. And it feels really old, like thousands of years old. And you've got these bottles and you're doing like healings with them. And I see like you're living in this kind of hut and you've got these bottles hanging all around you full of this ocean water, and they do different things. And so what it's connecting with is this deep ocean magic. And you belong to a seafaring people, so you could make these little charms to help people be safe at sea. But it feels very magical, but very, very connected with water. If you have any urge to learn about any of the Greek gods, I would suggest Amphitrite, who was actually the original goddess of the ocean. And her role was supplanted by Poseidon, who she was later married to. So we all know about Poseidon, but most people don't know about Amphitrite. And that is Amphitrite. So that's Amphitrite. So that's what I'm getting about that. So ocean magic, like something working with the sea, working with ocean. I will share a spell for beauty that I learned from a lovely gay man from San Francisco. If you guys want to bring that into your life, and what you do is you get a bouquet of flowers and you go to the ocean and you offer the flowers to the ocean as a gift, and then bring like one of those gallon milk jugs or a glass jar, and then you scoop up the ocean water, and then you take it home, and then you run a bath that night, and you put the water in there, and you ask the ocean to bless you with beauty, and then you take a bath in the water, and then just kind of bathe as normal and let the water out and all of that. And what he shared was it helped make him more charismatic. People were more drawn to him because people tend to be drawn to things that are beautiful to them. And it helped with other areas of his life, like with his success. But that's a simple energy working you can do involving the ocean. So there's that. Okay, Super Space Cookie. Would love a card. Alrighty. And that's a fun handle, by the way. Okay, let's see what we have. Shuffling these guys up. Okie dokie, here we go. Okay. Alrighty. So the card I have for you is Strength. Okay. So the guidance I'm getting off of this one is to be strong in yourself, especially regarding relationships. Like, don't be afraid to tell people what you want and need from them, especially when it comes to that aspect of it. The inspiration for this card, and I'll show it again, is I have a native friend who went to South America, and she met up with the Mayan Indians that are left. And what happened is there was a mass disappearance of them, and nobody knows where they went. But what they told her, there's like only a few. They said, okay, we could hear the sounds of thunder coming from the East Coast. So they knew the Spanish were coming. They knew that colonization was happening. And they decided as a tribe that they didn't want to live under Spanish rule. So they got together as a nation, and they decided that most of them would turn into jaguars and go live in the rainforest. And then they would leave a few of them there to tell their stories and remember them. And that's what happened. And the natives in the village said, if you go out late at night and if you sit by a tree and you just wait patiently, the jaguars will come down from the trees and they will turn into humans again, and they'll tell you their stories. So that was the inspiration for that card, was about how to own your power. So this is about you owning your power for what you want. What is it that you need and want right now in life, and taking those bold steps forward to allow that. And for you particularly, I'm getting that you do have a big cat as a guide. And I actually think that it's a jaguar, but it's a black jaguar, which is interesting because those are more connected to the dream life and to magic. So that's pretty cool. So and it's very stealthy. It feels almost like a ninja, like it's totally protective of you. But it's a beautiful, beautiful cat. Like if you get up close to it, you can see the blackness of it. But sometimes where it's faded, you can see those spots coming out. It's really cool. So you have a beautiful black jaguar as a guide. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool that you have that. Okay, and let's see who else we have here. Oh, you're welcome, Barbara. You're welcome. Okay, Susan would like a card. She's listening too. Okay, cool. All right, Susan, this is for you. So let me mix these guys up and see what we have. Okie dokie. Okay. Oh, wow. So this is yours. This is your card. This is the 9 of Fire. So let me get it a little closer. It's weird because for me, everything's flipped. So when I go here, it really needs to go there. Something. All right. The Nine of Fire. So in the picture is a dragon. It's a dragon lady flying in the sky. And it's all about trust. So if you look at dragons across the world, like in Europe, dragons are pictured with having wings. They have wings and they've got like legs, 4 legs. But in Asia, they don't have wings. They just fly. And I loved that idea because to me, it's about trust. So, and there's timing present in this card too for you. There's time, an element of timing. Like there's the perfect time to kind of launch what you want to launch. And so when you are really good at deeply listening to your life, you can know when that right moment is to kind of do whatever it is you need to do. But there's trust involved with this card. There's a lot of trust. Traditionally, so this is from the deck that I created. Traditionally, this card is associated with the stuff you worry about that keeps you up at night. And it's never anything that actually manifests. That's the thing. It's the stuff you freak out over. Oh my God, what if this happens? And then, it doesn't. It's like the stuff that you just fuss over. So this card is about trusting. Like usually when this card shows up, you're totally supported. You're really supported by the universe. Seriously, let the divine do the heavy lifting because it's got it. It's got the heavy parts. The other piece to this is when you're going after what you want, make sure it's something that you really want. So how do you want it to make you feel? And then focus on the feeling. And I know this has been around for a lot. Esther Hicks talks about that with the teachings of Abraham through Hay House, if any of you are familiar with that. So it's about getting in touch with the feeling. What do you really, really want? And then allowing for that timing and just trust that you're going to be in the right place at the right time for that. And then, excuse me, a tool I use for that is when I think about what it is I'm trying to create and I want to get out of my fear with it, I'll think about it and then out loud, I will say to myself, how can this turn out to be better than I never imagined? You want to use the word never. Okay, here's why. When you say, how can this turn out to be better than I ever imagined? You are using your own imagination. Okay, and this is for all y'all out there. This is a secret. I mean, literally, this affirmation works like a spell. When you say, how can this turn out to be better than I never imagined? You're tapping into the imagination of the divine, which is huge and limitless and all-encompassing. So that's how you get that to kind of work for you. And so then you're always, in your right space and your right time with that. So that is, okay. Oh, you're welcome, Barbara. Susan would love a card. So we did Susan. Yay. Okay. Let me see. I'm trying to master the whole scrolling thing. Okay. All right. Yes, so it is. Oh yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. Alrighty. So I am seeing on here, let me get back up here again. Susan Harney, are you the same other Susan? Because you're asking for a card, and I'm not sure if that's the other one that I did. Ah, new comments. Yay. Let's go down here. Because I want to make sure I get to everybody. Yes. Okay. You're the same person. Okay, good. So, oh, good. I'm glad that it was accurate for you. That's what we aim for. I'm going to share this. If any of you are readers out there, sometimes I will run into people who say that they don't get readings because it never works out for them, like the information is never accurate. If that should occur, like if it comes from me and you're like, I don't know, that didn't really hit at all. It could be that maybe it's an off day for me, but it could also be that Spirit wants you to figure it out. Like maybe Spirit has got this glorious surprise for you and you might miss it. And you're the one that has to make that discovery. So it could be about putting that on you and just, having you be the owner of that. So I'm going to throw that out there. Robin, you would like a card? Yes. Okay, let me give you a card. It might take me a little bit to get used to this going back and forth with the chat thing. I used to be a professional belly dancer, and the hardest part was learning how to dance and play cymbals at the same time. That was hard, but I did learn how to do it. I wasn't ever a great cymbal player, though, but I was a really good dancer. So, all right, let's see what we have for you. Okay. Alrighty. Ooh. So this is your card. This is the Four of Fire. See this little dragon lady sleeping in a bulb? Okay. What I'm receiving about this, so this would equate to the Four of Swords if you're familiar with Tarot, and it's the knight laying on the sarcophagus. It usually talks about taking time out. That's really what it is. Like, now isn't the time to make a major decision. What I'm also receiving about this is there's something else that's really good that's going to fall into place, and you're waiting for that thing to drop in. I don't feel like you have to wait long for whatever it is. But it's also about, I feel it's really important for you to take time for yourself. Like, go, where is it peaceful for you to be? If it's not in your home, then maybe it's outside somewhere. But it's about taking time for yourself and making sure you're in a nurturing space somewhere. And to just kind of honor that. And don't feel like you've got to push the river right now. Don't feel like, okay, I got to go. Right now, what I'm feeling like, going back to the earlier message about we're standing in front of a lake of possibility. You're standing in front of this lake, and what I'm going to share with you is the lake is going to start talking to you. Okay, it's going to start talking to you. And so there's that moment of peace when the lake is taking a breath, and then it's going to start speaking, and that space is for that. So you're going to be receiving some kind of guidance, or there's something that will occur, but there's another piece to this puzzle that's going to help you get on the path that you absolutely want to be on. So take time to listen for what that is. So cool. Oh, thank you, Ruth, for the compliment on the show. So that's awesome. So now moving forward, let's do a card for all of us moving forward, because we've got 2 minutes. So I want to give you a message for moving forward. So let's see what can benefit you the most. Oh, we've got some jumpers. So, oh, wow. These are really good jumpers. Wow. We hit the lottery, guys. Maybe you might want to buy a lottery ticket. Here's the thing. Don't break the bank with buying lottery tickets. 1 ticket is fine. That's all you need. Because we have the 9 of Water. This is the wish card. Make a wish. Seriously, make a wish. When this card turns up, it says something you wish for will happen. And then we also got the Empress, which is a card of wealth, abundance, success, victory, all of that stuff. So don't be afraid to dream big on this. So really, those things are coming for you guys. This is awesome. It should be a really great week for all y'all. So that's really cool that happened. Wow. Okay, well, I want to thank everybody for participating in the show. Really, it works when I get people asking questions and wanting readings, and that's really when it works great. So blessings to you. I hope that you may be blessed beyond imagining. May you be blessed beyond imagining. I'm blessing everybody here. Blessing you, blessing you, blessing you. So thank you so much for being in this show. Thank you for your contributions, for your questions, and then also for the Venmo stuff. So thank you very much. And I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day.
Thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed the show.